What's going on, guys? Aarava here. Welcome back to another episode of my F1 2016 career mode, episode number 11 today for season 2 at the Hungarian Grand Prix. If you did miss the last episode, episode number 10 at the British Grand Prix, it was a really fantastic episode, so do go check that out. I uploaded it on Monday, so go check that out, especially because I'm uploading these less. It is very, very kind of important. If you do miss one, go check it out before you watch this one. So we move on into practice as per usual at every Grand Prix and try and do the best we can to get as many R&D points, because of course, you know, we may be leading the championship at the moment, but we still need to do the job, because the likes of Williams have emerged as real contenders now for race wins we saw from last episode, and Red Bull are looking very strong at this weekend. As we move into qualifying, you're going to see later on Red Bull looking very, very strong, and Williams as well, as I mentioned, and Mercedes surprisingly dropping off the pace, and as well as Ferrari actually, and we've seen the likes of Haas even come into play, overtaking Ferrari almost as the kind of lead Ferrari engine team, which is very, very odd to kind of say out loud. But we move across into our first flying lap. It's good enough for P8 at the moment, but as per usual, I said every single episode pretty much, we go for a slower lap, do a faster lap the second time round, open DRS on the last corner, go across the line. It's going to be P4 at the moment there. And so it looks like we've got the two Red Bulls ahead of us, and then Jensen. So it's a 1-2 for Red Bull Racing to start off this Hungarian Grand Prix. So I mentioned they're strong. You can see there a front row lockout there. I think the first one Red Bull have done since, I think, Austria, I think that was. I think so. I think that might have been a front row lockout. I can't remember that too far back. But Jensen and me, third and fourth. So best of the rest, I guess. So pretty damn good, and really impressive from Jensen to beat me there in qualifying, to be honest. So hopefully we can both do the good job and hopefully get a good entry into turn one. See what we're going to do. The Red Bulls are probably going to be quite strong here. It's a downforce heavy circuit. You know, they call it Monaco without barriers, so we're just going to see how we do here. But let's go to the grid for the Hungarian Grand Prix. So taking a look at the race strategy ahead of the formation lap, you can see we've chosen the 3-stop versus the 2-stop today, because I just don't think we're going to be able to drag out these tyres as much as the engineers will want us to, especially that medium tyre. So we're going to hopefully completely skip that tyre, just go on the super softs and the softs, 2 softs in the middle of 2 super softs on either end of our strategy, and we'll hopefully do the job there. I think we have enough good pace. I mean, we're up in 4th place, Jensen's on my left in 3rd, so theoretically the car should have some decent pace on, you know, fresh tyre to kind of make up that deficit of 1 extra pit stop. But the Red Bulls are looking very, very good. A 1-2 for them, very, very strong in qualifying, but we'll have to see just how it goes really. But I don't think this first set of super softs is going to go too long into the Grand Prix. We'll have to see as we go to 5 red lights for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're underway, and Jensen gets a pretty good start. I get a good one as well, as Verstappen bogs down quite a bit, and Ricciardo doesn't get the best exit off his clutch, and we can see that Jensen now goes for a move down the inside into turn 1. We're going to go down the inside as well. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1 as we lock up a little bit, go down the inside of both of them, and we're up into 1st place, and Jensen has got 2nd place as well. So it's a 1-2 for McLaren Honda at the moment. That has pretty much been the perfect start for me and Jensen there, especially for me overtaking Jensen as well. So we took 3 cars there into turn 1, and so we're leading the Hungarian Grand Prix from Jensen Button, then Ricciardo, then Verstappen. But as we move on into the middle part of lap 1, you can see I'm going a little bit wide here. I lift off and let Jensen through, because it was very apparent to me straight away as soon as we got into sector 2 that Jensen had more pace than me in this first phase of the Grand Prix. I didn't want to hold him up. You know, I'm leading the championship. I've got a good gap. I'm not desperate to try and get in the lead and keep the lead right now in this Grand Prix. And if Jensen has got better pace than me, I don't want to hold him up. I'm not going to be a douchebag to him. I'm not going to hold him up just to kind of spite him and, you know, just try and, you know, hold him up in that sense. I'm going to let him go, because clearly I'm not on the pace of him, because he's already streaking away. I've already got a bit of oversteer. You can see Ricciardo is already in the back of me, so I think this would be the best option for for both of us as a team. If I can maybe hold up the 2 Red Bulls, allow him to get some space ahead, and maybe he can go on to maybe win this Grand Prix. But we move on to lap 4. Virtual safety car has been called out, but you can see the gap that Jensen has already got in 2 laps time. So just kind of verifying what I was talking about there. Jensen definitely has the pace over us at the moment. We may come back at him. If we do, fair enough. We can try and overtake him later on. But at the moment, I didn't see the point of holding him up there. So we move on, actually, the end of lap 4 into the pits now. Under the virtual safety car, we're going to make this pit stop because, you know, before in previous races, I made the mistake of not using the virtual safety car to my advantage, and I could see the super softs already wearing. So I thought we'll dive in here under the virtual safety car. In the middle of this pit stop, the virtual safety car actually gets released, so it's all green now at this point in the Grand Prix, at this point in the lap as we come out onto the soft tyres. But that's fine. We still gained a little bit of an advantage there, I feel, by pitting under the virtual safety car, and also Lewis Hamilton behind us has thought the exact same thing. So we come out right behind the Haas car of Roman Grosjean, I think it is. Yes, it is, in 16th place. He's on the medium tyre, so he's going quite long in this Grand Prix. So we'll try and chase after him, try and overtake him. We'll see how everything filters through when the people like Jensen and Ricciardo pit eventually for their first pit stop. So by the middle part and towards the end of lap 5, we've caught up to the Frenchman in the Haas car. Grosjean right up his chuff through this little sector as we go on to that second last corner, the hairpin corner. You can see Jensen still leads the way on the super soft tyres. Got some people in the pit, so roughly the guys all going to be pitting around lap 6 to lap 7, I would say, who started on the super softs. Obviously Grosjean here is on the medium tyres, but we got good traction off that final corner. We're in the DRS zone, so this should be pretty easy pickings for us as we move on to the right hand side of the circuit with the DRS wide open now. We'll move back to the braking zone just before we get into turn 1. Actually probably scared Grosjean a little bit as he moved around, as I moved quite aggressively back onto the racing line. But now immediately we're on the back of Danica Fiat behind the Sauber. I'm not too sure which one it is, but we're right behind them, both kind of holding each other up as they're both on medium tyres, I think. At least Fiat is, and that's NASA in the other Sauber. Teammates in the pit, so Jensen is pitting right now, but we've got a good run on Fiat off that right-hander down the inside in the third last corner, and we've got him up into 13th place, so not spending too much time getting held up by all these guys ahead of us. And it looks like all these guys around us at the moment are on medium tyres, of course. They're sort of the second half of the field, so they're trying to go a little bit longer and stretch out their race strategy, so it's pretty damn crucial that we get through them very, very easily and kind of cut through them like a hot knife through butter, and we get in the DRS zone of NASA. We move to the right-hand side of the circuit, and again, just like we did on Grosjean, very, very easy move. As we go into turn 1, though, interestingly enough, this is Jensen Button, our teammate, coming out the pits there, so it looks like we're still on right now in a kind of net 1-2 by the time everyone else filters through and makes their pit stops. Interestingly enough, Jensen goes onto the medium tyres, so sort of maybe confirms to us that Jensen's doing a 2-stop here, so we are going to have to maybe try and overtake him and kind of get ahead of him, because of course we're making 1 extra pit stop if he is going to end up doing the 2-stop here, right up his gearbox as we go through into the second sector. But we might also be able to use Jensen, because he has some good pace, remember, from the first stint, so we might be able to use Jensen's pace to help us all to cut through these guys ahead of us, the likes of the Toro Rosso, the second Toro Rosso there of Sainz, because obviously they're going a little longer, they'll be going slower. Jensen's going to be going pretty fast here as he tries to make a move on Sainz. So can we do exactly what I've just talked about and follow him through here as he pushes Sainz a little bit wide? We've not got the best exit in terms of traction though off turn 1, so Sainz stays ahead of us. We've got DRS to get in a bit of a slipstream, gaining on him a little bit. We'll make a little move down the inside. We'll get very, very close to his side pod there, but no contacts made, thankfully, and we're up into 6th place now. So 5th and 6th for me and Jensen, so hopefully we'll just continue kind of overtaking people, and eventually that number on the top left will become 2, and Jensen will be 1st place. As we go into turn 1 now in the very next lap, lap 9, and Verline's been overtaken by Jensen. Can we follow him through? Not got the same speed we did on Sainz though. Just gonna have to wait through this left-hander, although Verline goes slow. Here we go, round the outside. It's gonna be a really nice move round the outside of the German in the Manor car. Lovely little move. Did not think that was gonna work off there, but just mid-corner, Verline just seemingly didn't have the downforce on his car working quite well, and obviously we've got quite a good chassis on this McLaren, so just kind of kept the power down, went round the outside pretty damn easy actually. So now we're on towards lap 11 this will be, and now you can see we're in P3, Jensen's P2, so by the time of the end of this straight, hopefully it might be a 1 for Jensen, and then we'll see if it's going to be 2nd place for us as we go down to turn 1. Ericsson going very slow, he's pushed off wide a little bit, he's on the soft tyres, so I think he must have already made a pit stop, or he's going really long on softs. That's actually quite surprising he's going that long on softs, to be honest, but he locks up there, so maybe showing signs of that tyre wear from going so long on soft tyres, and we overtake him on the left-hander very, very easily, and we're up into 2nd, and now we're back in a 1-2 for McLaren. That just sounds great to say. That really, really does. But we move 3 laps later onto lap 14, and you can see Jensen really getting the power down. Remember, he's on medium tyres, so showing how much pace he has over us, actually. In 3 laps, he's gained that much on us on the slower tyre, but the safety car has been deployed now on lap 14, surprisingly, so we've now got a chance to maybe make a pit stop here and kind of gain a free pit stop, if you will. So we're going to come in, and we're actually make a bold move here. We're going to go onto the medium tyres, and we're going to see if we can maybe convert this to a 2-stop. This is what I was thinking in the moment of the safety car coming out. We've got quite a few laps left in this Grand Prix, but we could try it, and the worst case scenario, we have to make our, another pit stop when we go to the normal 3-stop that we're going to do the entire time anyway. It just means that instead of using 2 sets of softs, we'll be using 2 sets of, 1 set of soft and 1 set of mediums, I should say. So we'll see what tyre we end up going on at the end if we do make an extra pit stop, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe, just maybe, we could pull this off and make this kind of botched 2-stop work, but that is quite a long way to go in the Grand Prix. 20 laps till the end of the Grand Prix, so that's quite an ask, so we'll have to see about that. But we're in 7th place at the moment, so we haven't lost too many positions, to be honest, from making that extra pit stop, if you will, under the safety car. And now we're right behind Palmer, who's going very slow. Green flag, remember, we can overtake him now, so we've gone round the outside. Palmer sticks it down the inside. He's still there, and he's actually got the run on us. He gets a good line off the last corner, and actually re-overtakes us here, so we have to try and slipstream. We're going to go to the outside of the circuit. He pushes us a little bit, doesn't give us too much room, so we put a tyre on the grass, just about squeeze through. Finally, we get some good traction on him, and we're up into 6th place there. So very, very close. Palmer not giving us too much room, but we made it work, squeezed through, and we're up into 6th. And now we move on to lap 19. You can see Raikkonen into the pits and a few other people into the pit stops right now. So we're going to see how many positions we can gain here. So this might effectively be where we're going to be battling for the end of this Grand Prix. So up into P4 at the moment. Jensen is up ahead of us in 3rd place. So I believe that must mean the 2 Red Bulls did not pit, because if you didn't catch that, Jensen pit as well at the same time as us under the safety car. So me and Jensen did a double stack there. Lost me a little bit of time, but that means that the 2 Red Bulls haven't pit yet if they're ahead of Jensen, especially in 3rd place. You can see now Ricciardo is finally into the pits on lap 23, confirming to us that the Red Bull cars did not pit. So whereas McLaren, both of us, we made the pit stop under the safety car, Red Bull decided not to do that. So only now they're making their 2nd pit stop of the Grand Prix. So we'll see if that works out for them or works out for us. To be honest, at the moment, I'm starting to worry that both me and Jensen have made a mistake actually pitting under the safety car. But we move into 1st place at the moment, lap 24. But we've got, obviously, 11 laps to go in this Grand Prix. It's going to be a bit of an ask for me and tyres to go that much. And speaking of the tyres going that long, Ricciardo is actually on the back of us after making his pit stop. So this probably signals to us that the Red Bull cars actually made the correct decision, because now Ricciardo, here he comes, making a move on the left-hander. That's a very bold move. We break early, do the switchback line, still side by side with the Australians. We go into the swooping right-hander, still side by side. Ricciardo gets good traction though on his fresh option tyres, on the soft tyres, and he's got us into the chicane, so we'll have to follow him through here. So Ricciardo has overtaken us after making his pit stop, so that is probably signs that we're probably not on the correct strategy. We are probably going to have to make an extra pit stop in this Grand Prix, unfortunately, because Massa is also right behind us on the medium tyres as well, but I believe he pit just quite recently there. But Ricciardo, good pace there on his brand new soft. We do come in at the end of that lap, so we have to kind of put up our hands. We did make a mistake. I think Jensen also made a mistake, so I'll be surprised if he doesn't come in as well. But we're going to come in for a set of soft tyres and go to the end. Probably could have maybe put super softs in hindsight, but I didn't want to risk it just knowing my tyre wear, so I put on the soft tyres in this pit stop. So now the job is just to push as hard as we can, try and regain the positions, and hopefully try and see if we can maybe make a podium work still by the end of this thing. So we're on towards lap 28 now in P9, so quite some way down, but I do feel like a few people ahead of us are yet to make pit stops, so don't worry about that too much. And also, we do have some decent pace on these soft tyres at the moment, so even if maybe 1 or 2 people don't make their pit stops, we are catching people like Sainz here at a rate of knots, and Max Verstappen is out of the race there, the message popped up, so very unfortunate for him, because I'm pretty sure he was battling with Ricciardo, or maybe even leading the Grand Prix, or at least 2nd place, so bad news for Red Bull there, as Massa comes out of the pits now on super soft. So as I said, people on the top maybe make an extra pit stop just like us, so Massa has finally realised his error of the way, so he's come in for a late pit stop, and look how that worked out. So effectively, we got an undercut on Massa, and it's worked out for us really well there, but that was Verstappen also parked up on the left there, unfortunately for him. Looks like an engine failure of some sort, but now we're behind Carlos Sainz. Sainz, as I mentioned, we're catching him at a rate of knots onto lap 30. We're behind him in DRS. Massa is also behind us, so a good thing we've caught up to him now, the Toro Rosso, because it's going to help us out. We've dived down the inside, make a very audacious, aggressive move down the inside, but Sainz gets some good traction, and he actually keeps it on the left-hand side. We try and squeeze him on the left here, but he's having none of it. He puts it down the inside and puts up a fair fight here. We're going to have to go round the outside and try and squeeze him out naturally. We'll have the inside line to the next corner, and there you go, natural racing line. We are back up into 4th place now after we tried to make it to turn 1, didn't quite make it, but now we have as we go into sector 2. But Massa is now behind Sainz. Sainz will hopefully be a bit of a blockade for Massa, but it's no use. But by the time we go on to the end of lap 31, onto lap 32, Massa has got past Sainz. He's now onto the back of us now on the super soft tyres, so he's going to get some pretty good traction off that corner with DRS. Obviously, that Williams car very, very slippery in a straight line. So here goes the Brazilian down the inside. He's got completely past us even before the brake zone ends there into turn 1. We try maybe do a switchback line, you can see there. Just didn't work out for us. Massa actually parked his car quite nicely, so you have to maybe try and hang back and maybe make a move on the very next lap. We will have DRS, so we stick behind him by a second here, and we'll try and fight our best way we can for 4th place. At the moment, getting a little bit of oversteer there on the exit, but we'll keep it with him in sector 2. And by the time we come into the last corner, we are still behind him within 1 second. Getting good grip here, get a good exit, open the DRS, and here we go now. Back in the slipstream of Massa, and we'll pretty much do an identical move to the one he tried, although we don't have as much straight line speed as he did on us. But down the inside, we'll try and squeeze him out. He's not going to hang it around the outside there, and we're back into 4th place, thankfully for us. And so it looks like this is maybe where we're going to have to settle for in this Grand Prix, as Bottas is some way ahead of us on the track. So we come through the final few corners now, lap 35. Daniel Ricciardo has won the Grand Prix. I'm not too sure who's in 2nd place, actually, to be honest, but Bottas is going to be 3rd, and Sainz has overtaken Massa behind us for 5th place, so good on him. Toro Rosso doing the work there, up in 5th place. We're going to come in 4th. A little bit unfortunate, to be honest, because I thought we definitely had the pace for a podium. I think the safety car kind of threw us off, actually. It was kind of a devil in disguise, I think, the kind of opposite to a blessing in disguise, because I think if we didn't make the pit stop under the safety car, I think we would have been better off kind of just sticking to what we were going to do initially, which was the 2 soft tyres. But, you know, you can't always get it correct, and so today this is one of those days. So Daniel Ricciardo gets first. Romain Grosjean in 2nd place. I was battling Grosjean earlier on the Grand Prix for 16th place, and now he's come out of nowhere for 2nd. Jesus, good on him, good on him, good on him. Fair play, fair play. I was battling for 16th, and he's come through for 2nd place. So that is wonderful for Haas, and pretty much quite embarrassing for Ferrari, who are getting trounced by the kind of smaller Ferrari team. And if you look there, Jenson Button is down in 11th place. So as a team, as a whole, to be honest, we bottled it. McLaren have actually quite bottled it, because we're 1-2, and now we're finishing 4-11. Jenson having to make a very late extra pit stop. So I mentioned, you know, people like Massa made the extra pit stop a few laps after me. Jenson left it even later than that, I think, and it really did not work out for him. So actually, in the end, considering everything, I made the correct call to pit that early for that extra pit stop, because if I left it later, it would have been quite bad for us. But saying that, we've still made some gains in the championship, because Rosberg did not perform quite well in that Grand Prix. Yet again, the 2 Mercedes basically falling into almost the 3rd, even 4th fastest team, which is working out really well for us, having the Red Bulls come back, because the Red Bulls didn't have many points to start off with in this championship. So the fact that they're performing strong right now, it basically means that everyone below me in the championship is just taking points off each other, and I'm just keeping consistent here. So even though I sound a little bit down about 4th place, to be honest, if we think about it, this is a very good consistent result for us. We've been pretty much in the top 4 at least for pretty much this entire season, so pretty good job for us. Again, in the constructors, getting a little bit of Mercedes, but obviously Jenson not scoring points does not help us there in the slightest, but hopefully we can try and rectify that, and at some point maybe get a good 1-2 for McLaren. That'd be quite good, and try and match what we did in Canada. That would be quite nice. But guys, if you have enjoyed that episode, smash the like button. Some really nice racing there at Hungary, always is. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and if you're around to it, do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. As I said at the beginning of this episode, thank you so much for the continued support on this series, guys. I really do appreciate it, so thank you so much for that. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.